Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth here. So I want to say thank you for watching this video, and I am just going to talk a little bit about kind of the launch of my Etsy account, the Elizabethan Closet. So when I lived in Germany with my ex in 2014 and 15, I decided it was basically almost like a sabbatical year because he was doing research, and so I was trying to figure out things that I wanted to do. And at that time I was really trying to pursue my passions in writing, where I was finishing up a self-published book, and then I launched 2 blogs. And so at that time I started working on a self-published manuscript, or a manuscript for self-publishing for a vegan cookbook, because as I've worked in fitness since 2006, I've come to realize that veganism was on the rise. A lot of my clients and students were being told by their doctors to eat more vegan and vegetarian food because it was healthier for their diet to overcome diabetes or other issues they have, like high blood pressure. And the biggest issue I found was that people did not really know how to cook on a budget, but also how to cook vegan food as well, because a lot of it, they have this mentality of replacing. It's like, oh, I'm going to just, instead of eating my bratwurst, I'm just going to eat a vegan sausage. So as I was living in Hanover, there was always the Saturday flea market. And at first I never really thought much of it. I was like, oh, this stuff is kind of junk. And then as I started getting into the cooking and the food photography for the blog and for the manuscript, I came to realize how amazing a lot of antique and old pastime things were. So I think because of traveling throughout Europe, I just became super interested and kind of charmed, and I was falling in love with things from the past, because the modern world as we knew it was drastically shifting and changing in 2015, and I started to cling a little bit onto the past because I think a lot of those things are they're beautiful. A lot of vintage things have character to it, but a lot of it is because it was handmade. It was created through the energy of a person's head, heart, and their hands. And a lot of today, what you see through this prefabrication of the architecture or things like IKEA furniture, there's nothing wrong with them, but there's really no sense of style or just no deep thought. A lot of these deep thoughts came because of standing in front or inside of these beautiful ancient churches that, some took hundreds of years to build or 40 years to build, but you see how humans used their head, hand, and heart to create these beautiful architectural structures. So Europe really changed me. And then moving back to the States, I shop at Goodwill, and so I randomly never realized until like 2018 that some of the clothes that I bought in 2016 to like go to a wedding and perform a wedding ceremony, they were actually vintage dresses. And as I had a little bit of a rough time in 2019, I just found kind of peace and solace in a lot of estate sales and thrift stores. And so I just really started to kind of study the clothes, study the pattern, understand certain things fashion-wise, but how fashion has a lot of connections to the natural world, not only with the prints, but just kind of some history of fashion as well, with coloring and tweeds and things like that. So where I'm going with this is that actually a lot of dresses became inspirational for recipes and for my food blog, and I challenged a lot of that really tough energy that I was going through at the time, and I had to bring it out somewhere. It came out through like yoga and swimming, but also through photography and through my artistry. So a lot of pictures that you'll see on Etsy, I have, maybe like I'm holding a cabbage, or, I'm behind a little white counter with, a cherry pie. These things were inspirational for the recipes that I had. So for example, if it was this kind of dress t-shirt that had cherries and plums on it, most likely that inspired me to do a vegan cherry pie, or, a cherry plum crisp and things like that. So this is just a little bit of thought as to why I've started this, and it's just time for me to let go. I was in Estes Park in Colorado in the fall of 2019, where it was kind of the end of that time of sadness. It's like I just released whatever out into the meadows and the fields, and I came back on a fresh note to start the Etsy account. And I opened it on like September 25th of 2019, but it just took me an entire season to get things up. I was working a lot, getting back on my feet. I lost my main job in January of 2020, and then with coronavirus, I started to lose more. So unfortunately, I've gained a little bit of time to work on this stuff. I don't know if it's really the right time to be publishing this stuff out now. I work in a nursing home as well, so that's been just stressful in general because we've had cases of coronavirus come out. But the one thing that keeps me kind of, I don't know if the word is sane or just at least at ease and at peace, is just working on what I call some of my passion projects. So it's time for me to let go of a lot of my stuff. As you can see behind me, my apartment is chocked full of antiques and vintage things. A lot of that I'm going to be keeping, but a lot of stuff I'm going to let go, especially the clothes, because I have used them for a beautiful purpose. They brought a little bit of light and love in my life during times when I've been happy and sad, and I kind of hope that it does the same for you. So that's just a little bit of a background of my Etsy channel. And I really hope that some of this stuff can brighten your home. I'm kind of wearing one of my little favorite 1980 dresses. You can't see it because I'm not standing up. It has like a slit down the side. So I just love this stuff. And I hope you love it too. So thank you for listening and watching, and have a great day. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can also go ahead and find the links below to my Etsy channel. It's called the Elizabethan Closet. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye.